All right, we're going. We're live. Well, not live, but it's being recorded. But what's up? Thanks for coming back. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. I'm glad to be here.
Yesterday, for those of you who don't know, we had a little bit of a technical difficulty with the podcast, so this is round 2. But it'll be good because you got all the nerves out the first time.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think it was good we did that. Kind of got to know each other a bit better, and then
it'll be a good one.
Yeah.
We also got a new setup. For those of you watching on the camera, it's a different setup. We got face on face. I think it's better. And we got the incest, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
It's a totally different vibe here today than it was 2 days or yesterday, so it'll be good. How was hockey today?
It was good. It was a long day. Tough workout this morning. Then nice day. Kind of out swimming on the water, and then had to make my way to practice, so it was a good one.
Man, it was hot out today. It's hot right now.
It was brutal. Bit sunburned. It was definitely.
Did you?
Definitely, yeah. I was out on the lake all day. So
what lake are you on?
I was just at my buddy's house who I train with, Andrew Coxhead. He plays for the Ramparts, and we train in the morning, then usually hang out during the day. So
nice.
He lives out in Fall River, and he's got a nice lake there.
Speaking of great organizations, I heard that organization, the Ramparts, are incredible. Like if there's any organization in junior that treats you like an NHL team, up there's few. The Mooseheads is one, Ramparts is another, couple in the O, but like apparently it's just top notch there.
Oh yeah, he loves it there, and from everything I hear from him, he just says it's a pro organization. I mean, from the rink to everything they got there. So I know he definitely enjoys it there.
They're in a new rink there, aren't they?
Yeah, they got I think it's the Videotron Center. They used to be at the Colisée, which was another unreal rink. So
yeah,
it's a pretty sweet setup there.
I remember I was in the Colisée when I was younger, and we went to see, I think it was like an exhibition Montreal Canadiens game, and we were in the upper bowl, and I remember being terrified because
it's like
so steep.
High. Yeah, you're like right on top of the ice, even though you're so high up.
Like I couldn't imagine like 10 beers deep up there just trying to walk down those stairs. Like, oh man,
I wouldn't want to do it.
It would be terrifying. Yeah. Well, especially as a kid, it was bad as well.
Yeah.
Sure. All right, so one thing we didn't even talk about yesterday was the NHL top prospects game for the USHL. By the way, sick jerseys. Talk about that game, that experience. Who coached you? Where was it? Give me the rundown on it.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a fun game to play in. It was in Tri-City while I was playing for Tri-City, so our team hosted the game. It was a blast. It was like a 3-day event. We got there, I think we played at home on a Saturday, and then we got up Sunday. It was me and 2 other kids from my team. Okay. Maybe 3, but 2 of them were on the other team, one of them was on my team, so we kind of Sunday got some gear fitted, got to meet some of the guys, went out for dinner, and then Monday we kind of did some on-ice testing, I think it was, and then we had a practice, and then the game was on Tuesday, so it was definitely a pretty cool event. It was in Kearney, Nebraska. That's where Tri-City is, and it was cool because that's a organization that's on the rise, and for them
the team, you put the Tri-City
team, yeah, for sure. And for them to bring that game there was a big step for them. And I know a lot of people in the town enjoyed it, but for me personally, I really enjoyed it. It was rewarding, being there after having a year and a half under my belt and to play in that game in my junior hometown, I guess. Definitely. And with my best buddy on the team, also Jace Foskey. So, it was a fun game.
You ever think about like scouts? Like when you're playing the game, you're like, this is a pretty big game. It's an all-star game. It's a scouting game for the NHL. Like, I'm not saying your future depends on it, but there's definitely a lot of pressure for that game. Do you feel that, or do you just whatever, another game for you?
Yeah, I think for me, it's every game you just got to do something to get yourself noticed. Mm-hmm. Whether that's if you're not making plays that night, be physical, get to the net, and try and get a tap one in or something. Just bring something to the table every shift.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, scouts are there or not, every game you got to bring it, because if scouts aren't there, either way you got to compete to stay in the lineup with your team and be on the top of your game. So it's not, I feel like if you think about it, it's just going to be a distraction. So just put it in the back of your head and let it go.
Because if you kind of think about it, it's like that game, like an all-star game or a scout, like a big scout game, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of it is for the fans. Don't get me wrong, it's for the players too. But like that brings fans out, because like a good scout going to watch you play is not going to be like, okay, let's watch this one game. This is going to determine whether or not he's going to get drafted into the NHL, whether or not he signs somewhere, whether or not he goes on to the next step. Like a good scout's going to watch someone over the course of a year.
Yeah,
if you think about it.
For sure. And that's what I think, it's just for that game especially, it's just another game. You got to go out and play, keep it simple, play like it's any other game, and just, there's probably a bit more motivation for that game.
Definitely.
Like you're kind of, we were pretty fired up, but then in the end, you gotta stay calm and just play your game. So it was definitely, I think I learned a lot, through that whole process and going through, even though I played a handful of games this year, with all the scouts, eyes on you, you just gotta keep, you can't have, I guess, you can't get too worried about it. And even if you got if you have a bad game, you can't get too down on yourself. If you have a great game, you can't, be arrogant or think you're going to get drafted. You got to just kind of keep working hard, and then because it's such a long season.
Well, it's a long career if you think about it, man.
Especially that too. I mean, every night you got to bring it.
Yeah, especially at your age, man. Like you're at that age right now where it's just like that stepping stone. I guess that's not technically true because a lot of players peak later. But you can definitely, it's a lot coming up, I think, as a younger player with that pressure, especially in a game like that. When you were talking about the USHL the other day and you were talking about the age group, you said you were one of the younger guys, right?
Yeah, so both years I played in Tri-City, I was the youngest guy on the team.
Wow.
It's definitely older. Like I know in the Q and the O and stuff, they have a good number of 16, 17-year-olds, but in the USHL, they kind of tend to go for older players.
What's old?
Like 19, 18. There's not a lot of kids under 18 in the league.
Okay.
But there is some, a lot, because in the States I find a lot of kids tend to stay and play high school in their hometowns.
Because high school's big in college,
huge.
Right?
Yeah. In the
It's like football.
Yeah. So they kind of love to stay back and play their senior year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in coming from here, it's kind of, the Canadian way is kind of push yourself to juniors. So
definitely,
I started playing when I was 16, and I'm glad I made that decision in the end. You
ever notice a style of play? I went to Europe 2 years ago and watched some European hockey, and I found it complete 180 from the NHL. Do you find any difference from Canada, U.S. hockey? Any similarities? Anything?
I think it's tough. When I played minor midget back home, it was very fast, physical and skill. But I found juniors, it kind of the pace almost it was very fast, but the pace almost slowed down a bit.
Sorry, where
in junior in the USHL? Yeah, I just feel like it was very physical, but it was more it's hard to describe, but there's a lot of skill, a lot of plays being made.
Yeah,
and it was tough to score. That was the main thing. All their games were 2-1. 3-2.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good goalies in that league. So, and a lot of teams are defensively pretty sound. So,
well, if you think about the way the NHL is going right now, it definitely sounds us in that more direction, more speed, more skill, less mistakes. Well, it's always less mistakes, but if you look at today's NHL, that's exactly what it is.
That's the biggest thing I think that's the word I was kind of looking for in the USHL was there's not many mistakes, and everything's kind of based off people making mistakes. That's where you get opportunities.
Yeah, it's
pretty tough to make things happen just because it's so fast and physical.
Yeah,
so you kind of got to jump on people, turn a puck over or an odd man rush. So
yeah, that's one thing I learned after my career was the mistakes that I made. I always wish we did more video. Yeah, before in practice. Do you guys do that?
We really
How much do you love that?
I love it. It's just because I even watch it on my own time. I just try and see what I'm doing personally. But I know as from a team aspect, we did it before every game.
It's awesome.
Throughout the week, a ton. Because I think it's huge. You got to watch yourself. And now they're kind of getting iPads on the bench and stuff.
Do you guys have iPads on the bench?
We did in the USHL, but I know in college,
Harvard, they will.
I'm pretty sure they do. Yeah, and that's you can come off the ice and see right away.
Awesome.
So that's wicked.
It's a game changer.
Yeah, for sure. Because that's you think you might be doing something on the ice, or you think you might be your intensity's up, but then you watch the video and you're sluggish or you're not making the right play. So that's the biggest thing for me is just watching it and seeing what I can change right away.
Do you know who Matt Anthony is? He's the coach over at Newbridge.
Yeah, I think I've heard of him. I don't know him.
Yeah, he's been on here a couple times, and he's coaching over there. And we had a great conversation about younger players like novice, Adam, Pee Wee, even Bantam, about like just parents having iPhones. Like back in the day, it would I wouldn't want my dad coming to the rink with like a tripod filming me with like a big ass camera. But like now, like if I was a parent and my kid was on the ice playing a game, I'd have my phone out, just filming him, so after the game he could watch him and watch himself and see the mistakes he'd make. Because if I saw that at a young age and Pee Wee Bantam, like it would have benefited me so much. Because every time my dad told me I did something, I'd be like, nah, I don't think so. Yeah. But if you actually saw yourself, like tremendous amount of help.
Yeah, it helps. Like even just sitting back, like before games, we have a thing called Fast Hockey, and we can kind of go back and watch all our games. And even like days I was bored because I didn't go to school last year, I just watch tape, or before the game I just go over, like I'd kind of watch the other team's last game, see what they're about, watch their goalie mainly, kind of see where he's getting, if he's getting beat to one side all the time, or just little things that you can kind of, if that happens in this game, like tonight's game, you can put one in the back of the net and that'd be the difference in the game.
It's interesting because when I was 17, we didn't have anything like that. I wonder if that's like a trend in today's game, if that's just like it's an essential to play hockey at a high level that you have to have video. Because I think back when I played, it was nothing.
Yeah, like nothing. They emphasize it. Like even at Harvard, we got a little theater kind of video room down away from the dressing room, and they have a projector in the room too, so like video's huge. And I know one of the coaches that was telling me about, like they got an app even that you can go in and watch your shifts after a game, and there's just so much emphasis on video and critiquing the little things. It's
kind of fun too, because we're talking about the mistakes, but if you make a sick play and you score, it's great to have that on film.
That's the best part about it. Yeah, I think so. That's what I always look forward to. If something like good happens, I'll kind of go to that first for sure.
It's kind of cool, man, just seeing the technology upgrade and get better year by year. Not even in hockey, just in sport in general.
It's crazy how fast it's developing.
Do you ever hear these, like, I don't know how Gatorade started. Someone started. I'm pretty sure there's actually a company in Halifax that does this. It's like a sweat calculator, I guess. Essentially it's like a patch. So let's say you go practice, they put a patch on you, and you go practice, and it can measure your heart rate, how much weight you lost, if you hurt yourself, things like this. And apparently it's incredible. So what they learn from this is your diet, how much more water you need to be drinking, how much Gatorade you need to be drinking, things like that. And it's down to a science right now.
It's crazy. Like even they got those heart rate monitors on a lot of athletes, like in college and in the gym. And I mean, it tracks your heart rate obviously, but even like the calories you're burning, like, so you can kind of track everything. It's pretty crazy. And then going off that sweat thing, my old coach in midget, actually, he's got like he runs a skills development thing in Toronto, and it's pretty big, and he was sponsored by Gatorade, and awesome. When it was first coming out, so that's when I first heard of it, and it was crazy, like how they were doing it, and they were giving kids they were giving their athletes these like mixes, I guess, with how much they usually sweat out and how much they need to replenish, so it was like personalized to the actual athlete, which I thought was crazy. Yeah.
When was this?
Just like two years ago. This was before it came out, and they were just developing it. So I thought, like, just looking at that idea, I thought it was crazy.
The beauty of sport, man, just so many things surround the actual game. Like even this, like, even though we're not playing a sport, we're talking about the sport, but it just the science of it, the politics of it, the news reports of it. It's just so much to do.
So much that goes into it.
So much.
It's crazy.
And this is just hockey.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's like it really is, like, the sport is just a lifestyle. Like everything revolves it, like your whole life is just hockey.
Even if you're not in the game, you can base a career off it. I was watching the NFL Network today, and it's training camp right now, and they're breaking down Odell Beckham's left calf. Like, you know what I mean? Like, who talks about that? But they're breaking it down because he heard it last year, and now it's recovered, and they had the doctor on ESPN talking about his calf and how he, like, the exercises he did to recover.
I know. It's nuts. It's almost too much, but in the end, like, I think it's good.
It is almost too much.
Yeah.
Who said that? There was a great comedian. He's actually a talk show host. He's from South Africa. Noah. He's black. I forget his name. Anyways, first name Noah. Anyway, so he came over here. He was actually, you know, the show Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, I think yeah.
So he was on this show, and he went on and talked to Jerry, and they had this conversation about the first time Noah ever came over to America and watched sports. Okay. He was watching a basketball game, and he was just like, "It's amazing the statistics you guys know over here about the players, the game, outside of the game. It's incredible because over there in South Africa, it's just rugby. Rugby's the biggest sport, and the commentary there is, oh, you know, it's a beautiful game, you know, it's very calm, it's very relaxed, almost like baseball commentary or soccer, because not a lot goes on. But like when you listen to hockey, when you listen to basketball, when you listen to lacrosse, when you listen to football, all this commentary, it just gives stats.
Oh yeah,
it's kind of crazy.
It's like, and you look at the analytical side of hockey now, like it's so big. Like, I mean, look at Florida there, they fired Jared Glant because they wanted to bring in an analytical based coach, and I thought that was crazy.
Is that why?
I heard that had like I think that was part of it. I'm not sure, because then I know when he started having success in Vegas that they were I saw on Twitter and in the news, like they were criticizing the analytical side of it. And I think, you know, I think that's just one example. I think it's pretty good, you know, the analytics. But I think it's you can't go all over analytics.
It's hard to give an answer for that. I don't think there is an answer. I think it depends on the situation.
Yeah.
Have you ever, obviously you've seen the movie Moneyball.
Yeah. Yeah, like exactly. Like for that, like at the end of the movie they say, I think it was like this is kind of a fluke almost. Yeah. And I was like, I mean, but it is, he does have like, there is some truth to that analytical side of it. I just don't think, like I said, you can go all out on it.
I don't know. It depends on like a sport. Like I don't know if you could do that for hockey.
Yeah, like, could so you really things of the game? Like
baseball is more controlled. I found hockey not. Some hockey's a flick of the wrist. The puck goes a different direction.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like
it's a tough conversation
for sure. It's like I just feel like there's so many things in hockey that you can't like predict. Like you said, like a bad bounce or you know, someone's compete level. Like you can't base that off a stat or how good they are, not like their character. That's the biggest thing, and that's two of the biggest things in hockey. So
compete level, I like that. That's a whole different. Compete level in hockey is different than compete level in baseball, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Because you know, hockey, you're going all the time. You're battling. It's physical. You're making plays and stuff. And in baseball, you're kind of stepping up to the plate, and you just got to kind of. I mean, you're reading the batter or the pitcher, I guess, and then. But
are you a baseball guy? You ever play?
Not really. I used to back in the day, like a little bit, but I just kind of always played hockey and lacrosse. That was my thing. My cousin's actually, he's a catcher in the Nova Scotia Senior League for Sydney Sooners, So I've kind of always watched him. I enjoy it. I like watching the Jays.
Oh, it's a great, Doodle, the other guy that's on here usually, he plays for the Dartmouth Dry in the Senior League.
Yeah, my cousin said to say hi to him because he knows him,
No, he's he just got back from Hamilton. He's not here today. Okay. That's hilarious, though.
Yeah.
I love watching baseball. It's fun.
Yeah, so do I. Especially, my cousin Sean, he's a catcher, but whenever he's in Halifax, I go watch him.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah.
I lived out in Vancouver last year, like a year and a half ago, and they have the Blue Jays single A team out there. They're called the Vancouver Canadians. Maybe sits like 2,000, not even 2,000, like 1,500 people in the stadium. Beer is like $4 or $5. You go there, sit out on a beautiful stadium. Tickets are $3. And you go watch some guys that are going to be in the MLB in like 3, 4, 5 years. It's a beautiful game.
I enjoy it. Yeah, like whenever I'm in Toronto, I always go to a Jays game.
I've never been to a Jays game.
I love it. I think I just like going relaxing and watching it. So
well, that's what it is. It's almost like golf. It's just it's a leisure game.
Yeah, for sure. So no, I definitely enjoy it.
You can't be in a rush.
I just it's too slow of a game for me, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, to play, you mean?
To play, yeah.
Well, that's why I couldn't play. Well, that was my problem with it. And I think it's a lot of problem with kids growing up. It's because when they're young, you can't hit the ball anywhere. It's too hard.
Yeah.
So it's the kids that stick with it end up playing longer.
Yeah, and that was my issue. I just couldn't stick with it. I think I was like a year and a half, 2 years maybe, and then I was done.
No.
So it wasn't for me.
I'm sure parents would rather do that though than hockey because you're outside. It's warmer.
Yeah, and it's probably less money too. Hockey's getting pretty expensive.
Oh, yeah. Do you even know what tuition is, or not tuition?
Oh, to play.
I guess you call it tuition now. What? I don't know.
Or like expensive to play. The fee. Yeah. It's probably still rising. It's crazy. I know in Toronto when I played, like some of the fees to play there, it must have been like it was crazy.
It's the gear. Well, it's not just the gear, but The gear has a big part of it, apparently.
Travel, yeah, tournaments, and now, like, extra practices kids are doing, like, on top of their team. Like, there's just so much, like, dry land, strength and conditioning. It's just, it adds up pretty quick.
It's 365. It's 24/7. It's everything.
Seriously. So it's definitely not cheap, and it's getting, like, the amount of kids are playing hockey year round. I don't get it.
You're getting overwhelmed talking about it.
Seriously. Like, I take a lot of time off after the season. I don't touch the ice. I just think you need to rest. You need to do other things.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and you got to let your body, like, you can't tire yourself out. You gotta have that balance in life.
I was playing lacrosse 3 weeks ago at the BMO Center. There's like 2 rinks and then 2 lacrosse rinks, so 2 with ice, 2 without. Okay. And I'm walking by the 2 rinks with ice. Middle of July, there's kids doing the beep test on the ice, like bag skating, like pee-wee. I'm like, oh, this is not. I don't know. I just
think it's too much right now. Like, we just, like, when we hop on, we have good practices, but it's not, it's not over the top. And, like, I know the guys, when we were in Boston at school, the pro guys there hop on for 25-30 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Like, we had Dominic Moore.
Okay.
So he was like, when he first got there, we hopped on with him and he ran a skate for us, and we were just doing little, like, skill drills for maybe 25-30 minutes, and that was it. We were off stretching, then we went to we were already done our workout. So
who ran the practice? Dominic Moore?
Yeah, we kind of just hop on and do our own thing, and some of the pros that were there, whoever kind of wanted to run it that day,
that's sick,
would do it. Yeah, it was fun learning. Like, the first thing I noticed with him was how good his backhand is. Like, just trying to learn from him.
Interesting.
He does all the little things right. Like,
that's exactly what I was gonna say about him. He is a guy who does things that the average fan of hockey would not see how great he is.
And he's so good at every, like, little thing. It's incredible.
He could be on the wall, 2 guys coming to pressure him. He'll be able to chip the puck as the centerman's wheeling through the 2 guys pressuring him, like, off the boards through them. Like, he does these little things that are just, like, heavenly as being like, I feel like he's almost a perfect line mate. I feel like him and Sid, when Moore was a bit younger, would have been perfect together, because he just,
for sure.
There's something about him.
Yeah, he's just, what he brings to the table, I think, like you said, not every fan would see. Like, he's not explosive or dynamic, but he's so smooth and so
smart,
consistent. Yeah, smart and consistent. That's his thing.
Well, he was on Toronto this year, wasn't he?
Yeah,
fourth line guy,
line center. Yeah, but he was always on the ice. Like, he was pretty relied upon.
Who's an older guy too that I was happy with that's going to Pittsburgh? Cullen. I'm happy he's going back. I'm happy he's there.
Yeah, he's good. He's solid.
I liked him when they won the cup. I feel every cup team needs one of those guys.
Yeah, you need the depth is everything.
Yeah,
because nowadays you can't run your top line, or they're gonna get matched up pretty tough against other teams. Second or whatever line they're matching against, and you need that depth to go out there or even just give the top line a rest. Yeah. And be solid. So especially in, like, deep playoffs. Yeah, it's and injuries and stuff. Guys got to move up and play other roles. So everyone's hurt in playoffs apparently in the NHL. That's seriously what I heard. Oh yeah, it's crazy. Well, it's such a long season. They got to have something going on. 82 games, man. I can't even. I mean, we played 60. And it was a lot. Like, it was after the season, I was just done. Did you guys fly anywhere? We played in Pittsburgh. Did you? At the beginning of last year, yeah. What rink? Did you play in the Pens Arena? Yeah, we played in there. It was a preseason tournament. Okay. So it was all the USHL there, and we played in their practice rink, which was pretty nice. The Pens practice rink. Yeah. Sick. So it was kind of just more like a scouting thing. Yeah. It wasn't. I was hurt. I wasn't playing, but I still made the trip with the team. So cool. It was fun. It was pretty cool. Yeah, man. It's apparently, like, when rookies go to the NHL and they're like, oh, so what did you learn this year? Like, that question always comes up. It's like a big thing apparently these guys say is travel. Like, they learn to rest their bodies. They learn how to pack for a trip. They learn how to eat. They learn, like, apparently the travel is a huge thing. From 60 to 82 doesn't seem like a lot of games, but those last, 15, 12 games. And you're always like, they're playing through the week. I can't even, like, so when I played in Tri-City, we were the westernmost team in the USHL. Okay. So we had some pretty bad travel, but even, like, we didn't really change time zones that much. Yeah. So in the NHL, they're all over the map. So I can't even imagine going from Boston to Vancouver or something.
That's the good thing apparently about the East. Well, not apparently, I know it is, but the East Coast travel. Because if you think of all those teams,
the West. I heard the West Coast is brutal.
Brutal. Imagine playing in Colorado, Middle America.
Yeah,
like you got to go all over the place.
I know, Kearney, Nebraska is not far from.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Colorado, and it is a hike from Halifax.
Of course,
it's a full day of travel.
So where's your closest team you would play?
So we played Lincoln. They were about 2 hours away.
Okay, that's a bad question. Where's how do road trips work in the USHL then? I guess is what I want to say. Is it a couple overnighters? How does it work?
We'd usually, they took care of us pretty well in Tri-City. We'd usually go down the day before.
Okay.
Unless we played Lincoln or Omaha, which was 2-3 hours away. Yeah. So they'd be day trips. But other than that, we'd usually go down. Because you only play on weekends normally.
Oh, that's pretty good.
You play Friday, Saturday, the odd Sunday, Tuesday game maybe here and there. But we usually travel. We'd get up, practice Thursday morning. If you were in school, you get the day off, and then we'd bus down. We'd usually we'd stay overnight in the city. We'd drive right to the team we're playing, get up the next morning skate, and then play that night.
I was thinking weekend games. That must be pretty good for the fans then.
Yeah, for sure. I think
smart by the league.
Yeah, and it's also school, so they don't want kids traveling throughout the week, especially the high school kids. Yeah. Because it's a feeder league for the NCAA in college, so they got to make sure they got to try and keep kids in school as much as they can.
You ever have tutors on the road or anything like that? I got to relight this thing, by the way. I think it's out. But no, do they ever have any tutors or anything like that on the bus?
Not really on the bus. I think some kids might get some extra help, but I know I had, when I was trying to write my SAT to get into college, I had a tutor on the road, and he kind of, but it was over.
That's sick that they allow that.
Yeah, so, but he wasn't. He was just over the phone. So when I got to the hotel, I'd kind of FaceTime him, and he'd take me through some stuff.
But still, man, that's going above and beyond. I bet other teams don't do that.
No, yeah,
that's a
Tri-City. They were a first class organization. They were.
Did you know that going in though? You must have.
I knew of it kind of, and then as I played there, and went to other teams and saw kind of their conditions. It was definitely one of the best places to play, and I loved my time there. I know the owner, Kirk Brooks. He's from Las Vegas actually, and we'd have our tryout camp out in Las Vegas every year. So that was the best. That was one of the best parts.
Dude, well, it is good, but it's not because you're underage. But that's still sick, though. I get it.
Yeah, no, we went my second year. We went out. Me and a couple guys went out I think a week and a half early and just trained and skated, and it was just
in Vegas.
Yeah, so that was pretty awesome.
That's sick, man.
Yeah, it's I love it there.
I've never been. What's Vegas like?
Well, obviously I was underage, but still, even just being there, the weather's awesome. It's it's really nice. Yeah.
You ever go to Floyd Mayweather's gym?
No, I didn't.
That's the first place that's a lie, but I'd like to see it.
Yeah, for sure. I know. Yeah, I think one of my coaches was talking about it when I was there. He was going to go visit it, and then we just never got around to it.
Yeah, apparently he allows sometimes open to the public, to watch him work out.
Yeah, I heard that too. That's what he was trying to go watch, and he was telling me about it, and I was like, oh, that'd be pretty cool. I'll go with you. And
would be
something we were practicing or something. We never got around to it.
What's the ice like in Vegas?
In the summer, it's pretty soft. I had to change my skate sharpening right away.
Yeah.
I remember the first year I was there.
Yeah.
I got off the plane, skated the first day, and I was like, yeah, no way. I just felt I felt so slow.
Yeah.
I was working so much harder because I usually go a half inch, and then I went down to 5/8, I think.
Okay.
And I felt way better.
What kind of skates do you use?
I use Bauer 1S's.
I don't know. I don't know know the brand.
Yeah, I just use Bauer, but I get I do quite a bit to them. I reinforce the sides and stuff so they don't break down, because I used to use CCM and they just be destroyed after half a season.
How many skates do you get at Harvard next year? Do they as many as you want?
I'm not sure. I think they kind of just need base. If you need a new pair, they'll give you one. I know I got 1 or 2 pairs a year in junior.
Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I got a younger sister.
Oh, sis, so
she usually wears all my...
No! Yeah, she has the same size skates as you?
She uses my ones from Bantam, I think.
Oh, so this year you might... well, here's the deal. If you use a pair, just say you don't like them, save them, ship them here, and then if your sister doesn't want them, I'll take them.
All right. What size are you? I use I think I'm a 9.
Shoe, I'm 10.5.
Okay, yeah, so am I. So
okay, perfect.
I'll give you a pair.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
No worries.
Anything? Oh, I don't know. No, I got new gloves. No, I'm good. I just need skates. I need skates and we're good.
All right.
Love it.
I think I have an extra pair at home.
No, I want the pair that you get at Harvard.
Okay.
Harvard pair. How many pair of skates do you have at home right now?
I got 3 of the ones I have right now.
Jesus, man.
I like them. I've been using the same ones for a couple of years, and I just...
The Bowers?
Yeah, it's like my equipment guy got them custom done in Tri-City, and I love them like he did. He always got me the best stuff. Like he was top notch.
Is Graf still a thing? Do they still make Grafs?
I think so. I saw a kid. Actually, the kid I was traded for this year.
You got traded for a kid that wears Grafs?
Yeah, it's tough. But he's drafted the NHL. Like I'll give it to him. He's a good player.
He's drafted the NHL?
Yeah, he just got
there
drafted.
You go.
He's good.
So they're making Grafs still.
Yeah, I noticed it because when I got traded, we played Tri-City that weekend.
Okay.
And I just saw him in warm-ups, and I looked twice, and I was like, "Are those Grafs?" I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And they turned out he was pretty good, so I couldn't chirp him. But,
what's his name?
Sam Henches.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's drafted by Minnesota, I think.
That's a great team to get drafted by.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd love to get drafted there.
He's a good player. I think he's going to St. Cloud State next year.
Okay, cool.
So in Minnesota.
So you might play against them, right?
Yeah, if they're in a different conference in the NCAA, so probably not regular season, but maybe in the NCAA, the tournament there, we might play
Frozen Four.
Yeah, or I think it goes 16, 8, and then Frozen 4. So I think we could play them at any point in that.
Okay, cool.
So
when I think of Grafs, I think of the big white tongue.
Yeah, the ones who used to wear them. Robbie Shrimp.
Yeah.
And the
great call.
Yeah.
What do you do? Do you put your shin pad over your tongue, or do you leave it out?
Shin pad over.
What do you do with the back?
I tuck it over.
You tuck it over the back.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I started Taylor Burke. Like I saw he told me one time. Well, he cut his Achilles because he got cut over the back.
That's a terrible injury.
So when I was talking to him, and then I started doing it after. Because he started putting his sock over the back, and then I know Carlson also got cut.
Oh, by Cook.
Yeah, by Cook. So I just thought.
Do you think that was on purpose?
I don't know.
That's a tough call.
Cook's kind of slimy, I think. So.
But if you look at the replay, it doesn't look. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. You can't.
But it's Cook, so you can't put it past him.
Exactly. You can't. I don't know. His history, Cook's history, kind of puts it in question. But.
So so essentially your sock is over your whole skate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a lot of American guys do it too.
Really?
Yeah.
So do you put it down the whole way or just like a little bit?
Just a little bit. Like halfway down the back, kind of.
Yeah. Okay. Drouin did that.
Yeah, Drouin, he does it. Some guys go like really aggressive and put it
all the way down. That's like European if you put it all the way down.
That's super Swedish. So all the Swedish guys on my team, they'd always do it.
It's funny how that's it's a language in hockey, like a style of hockey player. Yeah. Like that's a thing. It's an actual thing.
I know. It's like you just, especially the Swedish, because we had 4 of them.
Did you?
Here in Tri-City, yeah. And just the way they dressed, the way they were their own breed. It was funny.
That's so funny.
I'm sure they're saying the same thing about us, but
what were we talking about yesterday? The fishbowl.
Oh yeah,
that's a thing too. It's like hockey style.
Yeah, fishbowl.
Fishbowl.
Yeah, it's like no one else would know what a fishbowl is.
Yeah.
Unless you're playing hockey.
Baseball. Back to baseball. They have tons of slang. Like that language. I love that language. I wish I knew it.
Yeah, seriously.
Humby. They say Humby. That's what it's a thing.
Yeah. My cousin always says stuff like that.
Humby. I don't know what it means, but I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Gitch, like hockey gitch.
Gitch, yeah, that's something I didn't learn until I got to junior. Like someone was like, "Throw your gitch in after."
Yeah,
practice.
same.
And I was like, so I had to go ask them, "What the hell's my gitch?"
But I don't know if that's like a other sport thing or if it's just a hockey thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Like that's considered gitch.
Yeah, this is like a workout shirt, I guess, and then anything I guess you'd wear under your gear working out. That's what I consider it.
Do you have like when you have to throw it in the wash, do you have like one of those clips or do you have a bag to throw it in?
We use loops. We use loops in.
What's a lube?
Like you kind of put your shirt like it's like a loop.
Oh, loop. I thought you said lube. sorry. Okay, no.
Yeah, and you put your socks on like the string kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some guys have the bag. They chuck it like all.
Bags are nice. A lot of the pro guys, I always see they have the
bags.
Yeah, it kind of be easier, but loop is fine.
I don't know. I'd like to try the bag out. If I had a bag, I'd use it.
My roommate had it in when we played minor midget, and he said it was like it was so easy. He'd just take it out of his bag, throw it like.
Yeah.
It was nice.
What do they have at Harvard? Loops or bags? Or you could probably pick.
No, I think they just have loops. They were Yeah, they were weird though. Instead of the string on the put your socks, it like clipped in and you put a bunch of. It was weird.
Really?
I'd never seen it. Yeah.
When you get it, take a picture. I want to see it.
All right.
If it's there.
Unique, yeah.
So I did some research on Harvard, not even on the hockey side, just like the academic side, and it was kind of cool how the way they determine success. And I wanted to kind of get your opinion on it, what you think about it. So essentially what they try to do is try to mold the mind to think outside the box in order to succeed in life. They don't believe in looking at a textbook and looking at the X's and O's and going with the flow. They believe kind of going against the grind, figuring out your own way to solving a problem, and that's essentially their recipe to succeeding in life, which I kind of thought was cool. It's a cool philosophy. I find most education systems now are read this book, pass this test, you'll be okay in life, which I think is bullshit. I don't know. I just kind of wanted to get your thought on that, on what Harvard's philosophy was. I thought it was very cool.
Yeah, no, I've only been there for a month so far, but talking to other guys on the team, that's mainly what they say is like a lot of stuff it's not really textbook at all. It's a lot of your own thinking. You got to develop ideas by yourself. And I mean, even for me, like I wrote a paper this summer. It was just a placement exam, but even that, like,
what does that mean, placement exam?
So to see what writing class you'll take next year.
Oh, like what level of writing you're qualified to take? Okay.
Yeah, so and I'm usually a good writer. It's one of my strengths, and it was a philosophy essay, and I opened it up and was like, what the. Like I couldn't. It took me like 3 days to even just read so it was 3 readings, and you had to kind of you had to write the paper, and I sat there for days, like just I couldn't do it. I was like, this is impossible. And then I started to think like you said, like think outside the box almost. Yeah. Look at some different ways of looking at it. Yeah. And then it just clicked, and I was like able to write the paper. It took me like an hour.
That's cool.
So it was like and you kind of like. I heard a lot of the classes like that too. Like it's not just like I was looking through the course catalog. And like some of the names of the courses, it's not your regular like math, science. Like, there's such a broad like spectrum selection of courses that you can take and kind of prepare yourself for life after college.
That's awesome. I love hearing that.
I'm excited. I'm excited to get in on some of these classes and start to learn.
Yeah, man, definitely. So you said writing is your strong suit?
Yeah, I'd say. I'd definitely say writing. Yeah, I think on my SAT. My other scores were decent, but then my writing was like, I think it was 99th percentile. It was like I just wrote a solid essay, and it was every time. Nice. That was kind of my thing. When I played hockey and we used to go on these long road trips, I'd just be bored out of my mind. And I'm not a big reader. I don't mind a book every now and then, but I don't really like it. So my strong suit is writing. So when we'd go on these long road trips, I'd just bring out my laptop and I'd write movie scripts. So like I have a bunch of movie scripts under my name, and then so when I was 19, 20 years old, that's kind of how I developed the skill of writing, and that's awesome. That's kind of funny how you're a strong writer too. I'm a big reader, but I also like to write too. Like I kind of just write. Like one of the things I do is I just like debrief on like my days and stuff. So I'll kind of just like if I'm stressed or anything.
Oh, cool.
Like I'll just write and kind of get my mind off things, and it's kind of like when you put. Like you look at I read the book Game Change.
What's that about?
It's about Steve Monador, and kind of the CTE side of things. Yeah. How he kind of, but like this is pretty extreme. But he obviously had a lot of depression and stuff, and it was tough to watch. But even just in regular day life, like what he would do is he'd write stuff down and it'd help him like clear his mind. And even just for me, like that's what I do throughout the day. Yeah. I just write, what I'm thinking, like just put your thoughts to paper.
I kind of want to start doing that too. Just not even like write just like a paragraph. Just be like, okay, today I felt like shit when I woke up, came home, had dinner. Just like something, just to kind of like look back. Like let's say I'm 60 years old, I can look back to when I'm 26 years old and be like, on this day, that would be cool.
Yeah, no,
is that kind of what you're doing?
Yeah, it's like some days are simple. Some days are maybe 3 sentences. Like today I accomplished nothing. I just had no motivation. And then it's like another day, it's like I did all this stuff. Like this is what I was thinking throughout the day, or like I had a cool thought. Like just throw it all down.
I'm gonna start doing that. Yeah. That seems very satisfying.
Yeah, no, it is. Like no one really think about it, and then.
Even like a week.
Started doing it. Yeah, just try it for a week and you'll get. I almost got like hooked on it. Because like especially when I was at school, I kind of had some extra time on my hands, and that's what I do.
But it doesn't even take time. It takes 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So.
But like thinking about it right now, it's like I don't even know what I did last week on Wednesday. Like I'd love to go back and look at that and just be like, here's what I did last Wednesday. That would be very satisfying. I'm gonna start doing that.
I'm sure in like you said, in a couple of years when you look back at it, it's crazy to see what you were doing back then and how your days, like you kind of have a big picture of what you were doing back then.
Yeah.
But like the day-to-day stuff, you're just kind of foggy.
Because think about that. Let's say you're 34 or 35 years old. You're like in the NHL and you're like on a road trip in Tampa. Actually, no, let's say Dallas. Yeah. And then you look back to when you're 17 years old and you're like, oh, right now I'm in my Harvard dorm room just studying for my science exam. Yeah. I don't know. That's kind of it would be cool.
Cool, yeah.
Satisfying.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. It's satisfying.
Speaking of satisfying, did you watch any of the movies I told you to watch last night?
Didn't.
Come on, man.
I had a busy afternoon, so.
What'd you do after?
I'm trying to think. I know I was doing something.
Did you write it down?
No.
You gotta write it.
I was on the run. Yeah, I was up for I had to try to think. I forget, but after I have no recall what I did yesterday afternoon.
People watching this video probably think I'm lighting a cigarette or something right now. I don't know. I love the smell of these things. It's helping me. Do you still smell it?
Yeah, no, I do.
We're talking.
It's fine.
Like you smell it. I find the smell of it's really strong for the first 10 minutes, and then it kind of fades off.
Definitely fades.
But I don't have a holder for it because as soon as it hits you see what I mean? As soon as it hits the glass, it just. Anyways, I gotta figure that out. Anyways, another movie about Harvard, The Social Network.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen The Social Network?
I'm not a big movie guy. Like, I don't really watch a lot. The only one movie I have seen, I'd say, about Harvard was, it's about these MIT Harvard students, or they're trying to get into Harvard Med School.
What's it called? The movie. If you don't know, it's fine.
It's just about them counting cards in Vegas. I'm trying to think of the name. It's on Netflix. It's actually really good.
Oh, is Mark Wahlberg in it? I don't know. That's not the movie. I know the movie. It's called 20 or 21. It's called.
It might be. Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Okay. Anyways, keep going.
But that was a good movie. I know the guy was trying to pay for his Harvard Med School, and he got in this club, and they were just geniuses. And they went to Vegas and just cleared the casinos. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure they got caught, but.
And did he hide his money in his ceiling? Yeah, I saw that movie. Yeah. I forget the name of it though.
So do I. It's escaped my mind, but no, it's a good movie.
So yeah, I'm gonna name the 3 off again right now that I need you to watch. So. Good Will Hunting. Yeah. A Beautiful Mind. Watch A Beautiful Mind first.
Okay.
Well, A Beautiful Mind, and then The Social Network. You haven't seen The Social Network? That's the Facebook story.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I think I was going to watch it this year on the road, and then I fell asleep or something. I remember.
Oh man, that's a fantastic movie.
I got it downloaded on my phone, on Netflix, I think.
Do you? Oh yeah.
I remember seeing it always there. I just haven't got around to watching it.
So you're not a movie guy, eh? So what do you do on the road? Read, write?
A lot of times, honestly, on the road, I had my buddy Brian Yoon. We'd literally just sit there, and we'd play little games on our phone, read. He sat across from me on the road for the first year. Yeah. And then the second year, the same thing. We had the same seats. And we moved back, but we were still right across from each other. And there was a group of us there. We kind of always just hang out, kill time. It was pretty funny.
I love the buses, man. I miss those trips.
Yeah, it's the best. We had some long ones in Tri-City, and we had some funny stories from then, but it definitely helps bond, the team, and so.
That's the thing about those road trips. It's you kind of complain about them that they're long, but at the same time, it's that's where you make memories of friends and things like that.
I know our second year, we flew to Pittsburgh right off the bat. Yeah. So our whole team was kind of together for a pretty long, road trip, and even though we were flying, just being together on the road for a weekend and a couple days, it was definitely good for our team, and we were a close team that year. So that was I think that's definitely what kickstarted it. And
man, being a close team, I think, is what makes a team a great team, especially in playoffs. Being close together.
Yeah, for sure. We had a coaching change after our first year in Tri-City, and the new coach Anthony Noreen, when he came in, he emphasized that is getting the group together, making sure they're super close. And I know as captains, as our group, our leadership group, we'd always every Saturday after the game, every Sunday, we'd always have the team together. We try to have as many things throughout the week. Yeah. As not just a group of guys hanging out, the whole group. Yeah. Group of guys, and not leaving anyone out, making sure everyone got an invite. Yeah. And even if they didn't want to come, we dragged them there and made sure they were there. And I think like that was huge. Like right off the bat, we thought like, oh, like we got a very skilled team. But then I think preseason we were all right, and then we went on a 10 game win streak to start the year, and we were in first place by like a lot.
Yeah.
And I think it was kudos to our off ice and how we conducted, like, and it just everyone wanted to play for each other even more. So that's the biggest part.
Definitely, because like it comes back to the long schedule. You can definitely get ticked off by some guys because you're around them all year long.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
It can be tough sometimes in that room, I'm sure, as both of us know. But if you're able to like look past that and just focus on one common goal, I know it sounds kind of cheesy, but it's a hard thing to do. It is. Yeah. It's a very hard thing to do, to get everyone on the same page working together for one common goal. It's a tough thing in sport. And that was every sport.
Yeah, for sure. And that was the craziest thing. Like there were some guys, like it's hard to say on that team. There wasn't many like there was barely any issues between guys. Like I couldn't, like there was some kids that might have got shirt more at the beginning, a bit more in court, and that was kind of funny. But then even if some kids, they rubbed some kids the wrong way, like by the end of the year or by the time I left, I'd say like they were fine. They were like just like any of the other boys. Like so that was a wicked group, and we were fortunate.
Awesome,
to be a part of it.
Well, hopefully you can transfer that over to Harvard, man.
Yeah, for sure. And the same thing goes for Harvard. They seem like a great group of guys in the same way. They got a good, like, their leadership group next year. Michael Floodstrand and Louis Gossage. They're unreal guys, and I'm sure they'll do the same thing. I think they'll be really good for the team.
Beauty, man. It seems like you're not nervous at all. Like the fact, like we said last time, the fact that you've been there already for a couple of weeks and got your your bearings all set in stone, like you know what you're looking forward. You don't even have to look forward to it because you already know what you're getting yourself into. I think that helps you a lot. Yeah, and that's, I think, what the coach Donato, he recommended coming down for the summer, just because he had said, especially for training and stuff, but also when I got there, I was talking to the athletic trainer, and we were talking for a while, and he just said, like, you're gonna get to know everyone. It's so good to come down early. Like you'll just get adjusted to campus and what college life is like. Yeah. So no, it definitely helped me a lot. I'm a lot more confident going in the fall. That's awesome, man. Well, we got to wrap this up here. Thank you for coming back. I appreciate it. My pleasure. A little technical difficulties, but I think this one was 10 times better. Like the comfortability level was awesome. So yeah, no, it was good. If honestly, like, who knows? I could be in Boston this year. It's possible. Yeah. If so, I'll shoot you a message. For sure. I'll come watch you. Yeah, I'd love that. If not, next summer, come back. We'll jump on the podcast again. For sure. Sounds beauty. Good. All right. Everyone listening, I appreciate you tuning in. If you could go to all of our social media outlets and like, subscribe, comment, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, all that good stuff. I appreciate it. Once again, I love you guys. We are out.